I really said it out loud and I regretted the moment it came out of my mouth. Hey guys, my name is Rosen, I'm 18 years old and I'm from Berlin, Germany. It's about like 10 p.m. right now here in Germany, which means that Shawn's dropping his new album, his third album, in about 2 hours, which obviously is midnight. And yeah, I'm so excited to listen to some new music from him, and I thought that this album's release will be a great opportunity to do this video and talk to you about the experiences that I made at the secret session. To start off, I don't really know how I got invited to the secret session. I remember that Shawn was here he was here in Berlin for like 5 days because of the Echo Awards show that he was nominated for, and he was here on Tuesday, but I couldn't meet him when he arrived because I had my final exam the next day, so I went just after I was finished with my exam. So I went to his hotel and I waited in front of the wrong hotel like for 3 or 4 hours. I waited for my friends to arrive, who were also Shawn Mendes fans. It wasn't that bad, like, to wait the whole time, because we made some new friends, we met new people, we met nice people, and I got to know a little bit of my family, my fandom that I am in and that I'm a part of, and it was really exciting to like meet all the new people, all the new faces. So we all waited in front of the wrong hotel until one of the fans told us that Shawn is staying at the other hotel, which luckily was maybe 10, when you walk it's like 10 minutes away, it wasn't that far. So we walked to the other hotel and saw other fans who were already waiting, so we assumed that we were at the right hotel. Shawn came out at 7:40, I guess, like 7:40 p.m. and I was so nervous, I was so shaky, my heart was racing. It was not the first time that I saw him, but it was the first time that I actually met him, like kind of face to face. And I had my present bag that I had for him, like I made him a present in 2017. It was a little bag with like a letter in it, which I kept this whole year. I don't remember what I wrote in it. He probably has already read it, I don't know. I hope not. I hope he just like forgot it. Like, you know, it was so embarrassing. I don't know what I was writing. I just remember it was 5 pages long, so there has to be something embarrassing in it. Anyway, the second present, which was my main present for him, was a cheer up jam. It's like just a jar jam with little notes in it, like quotes from him, from his songs, like just lyrics from other artists, for example Niall Horan, One Direction General, you know, just lyrics and quotes to cheer him up. And I put it in the bag, and we were like at the hotel, we were all lining up because Jake, his bodyguard, told us to like we should line up, and just if we took our pictures, our selfies, he asked us to go to the other side of the street, like on the other side of the hotel. When Jake saw that I have a bag for him, like not for Jake of course, but for Shawn, he asked me if this is for Shawn, and I was like, yes. At first I didn't realize that he was talking to me, so he had to ask me twice. He asked me if this was for him, and I said yes, and he said that he would give it to him. And to be honest, I didn't trust Jake back then, probably because he was kind of intimidating and I would not say no to Jake. Jake is a really sweet guy, he's really kind and really nice. He's not a bad guy, don't get me wrong. You can always talk to him, but like, I was just intimidated because it was the first time that I met Shawn. I was completely starstruck And it was also, of course, the first time that I met the people who were around Shawn, who worked with him or who worked for him, you know. So yeah, I gave my bag to Jake, and I wasn't sure if Shawn would really get the present or if Jake would just throw it away. So I took my selfie with Shawn, and I was extremely emotional. I was like shaky, I was like really crying, and I'm not the type of person who starts to cry whenever she meets somebody that she adores or that she likes or that she looks up to. But with Shawn, it's just different because I'm in this fandom for like 5 years now. I wasn't there at the Vine times, you know. I was there when the Cameron Dallas is my boyfriend time, if you know what I mean. So like 4 or 5 years. And that was the first time after all these years that I met Shawn face to face. Like, he was really sitting in front of me, and I couldn't just realize it. I was like completely out of my mind. So after we met Shawn, me and my friend Lily, we went to the mall, like maybe grab a coffee or just like chill and talk, you know, just calm down and start to realize that we actually met our idol right now. And after I came back from the restroom, I started to go through my Twitter. I don't know why, I just went through my DMs, and then I saw this new DM. I didn't even get a notification, so it was a coincidence that I saw this notification or this DM. So I saw Item Records. I just saw the name and I was like, no way. And I started to read the beginning. Hey, you've been chosen for something to do with Shawn Mendes, blah blah blah. You know, like the one text that already the people from the LA Secret Session got, and I was like completely going crazy. I was like, I asked my friend to pinch me, like I just wanted to wake up because I thought it was a dream. It obviously was a dream for me to come true, but I literally thought I was dreaming and I would wake up any second. And I was like almost sitting down. I completely had a breakdown. After that, we went home and I still couldn't realize it. And the next day, we went to his hotel again. And he came out earlier. I think it was maybe 2 p.m. or something. And we again met new people that I'm now also friends with. On Thursday was the day of the Echo Award show, so he came out, and then after that he went to the award show like before us. Thursday wasn't that important. Of course we met Shawn, but there was nothing really important that happened. So I was waiting outside the arena where the award show was, and I was so sad because Item Records DM'd me and said you should have got an email by now, and I didn't because my data outside is like low, extremely low. I did not get any emails. I could use WhatsApp, of course, but it was really slow. So in Berlin we have some train stations where you have Wi-Fi, and at one of these train stations I had Wi-Fi, and I noticed that I got an email from University of Germany, which was like kind of sponsoring and organizing this whole event. And I read it, and the one person that like wrote me this email said, please say if you can make it or not until 4 p.m. And I was at the award show at that moment, so I didn't see it. I couldn't like text her back. And it was 8:30, and I tried my best. I started to Google like any phone numbers, anything that I could call them and say, hey, I can't make it, I just had no connection to like text you back, something like that, just to apologize and make it. I was so afraid and so scared that I just lost the opportunity to meet my idol like in person, like to really talk to him and get to know him. I was so sad. I was struggling to get some sleep. So I woke up 8 a.m. I guess, and their bureau opened, I think it was 9 a.m. And so I called them right away on 9 a.m. They didn't pick up, so I called again at 9:03 a.m. and they picked up, and I tried to explain myself. I told that I'm so sorry, I apologize, and I just begged them because I did not want to lose the opportunity to meet Shawn, like talk to him, to get to know him. Like I was so afraid, you couldn't even imagine. And when the woman who sent me the email told me that I could go, that it is not any problem for me to go, I was so relieved. I literally ran out of my room, and just my mom was coming out from my brother's bedroom, so I just pulled her into a hug because I was so happy. I was freaking relieved that I could go. So the woman sent me the address. It was just the meeting point, which I didn't know. I thought it was really the place where the secret session would take place. It was incredible. Like I was getting ready. I thought that maybe I could go to the hotel, but I just thought maybe I would just annoy him, and it would be kind of unfair for everyone else who wants to meet him who didn't meet him yet. So I just stayed at home. I got ready, and I packed my bags, and I just left. And I arrived maybe an hour, or maybe I think I was an hour early. There were already other fans who were also invited. They were already sitting in the meeting point, like it was a cinema. So they were all waiting, and I just like arrived, and we all introduced ourselves. They're really nice, they're really sweet, and I love every single one of them. It was great to meet them, to be honest. Like it was also great that you were not alone at the secret session. It was not a Shawn fan meeting, like one singular fan. It was a whole group, because we had to like sign a contract that we wouldn't say anything about like where the secret session was, anything about the new album. Like we weren't allowed to say who the collaborations are. We weren't allowed to name any titles of the song or anything. We could talk about our experiences, which I'm doing now, and I'm free to tell you, because Shawn already released the names of the album, like of the songs. He said who the collaborations are, so I do not have to like hide anything or just like keep it to myself. And to be honest, the contract wasn't like really bonding for me to keep just silent, you know? The thing that made me stay silent, just don't say anything, is the fact that Shawn told us that he trusts us. And these words were like the key that locks just a secret in a kind of box, you know, you can't get it out. I didn't even tell my best friend, who was a huge Khalid fan, that Shawn has a collaboration with Khalid. Of course, my friends were like trying to get out of me, like, where's the secret session? I want to meet him. I didn't meet him, blah blah. Who's the collaboration with, you know, these kind of things. And I couldn't tell, and some of them got really pissed because I couldn't tell. I wasn't allowed to. So anyway, we waited this whole hour together, and we went out like 15 minutes before the clock turned 6, like 6 p.m. or something. We had to give them our identity and give them our phones, because we were not allowed to film anything, of course, or to record anything, obviously. So I was actually happy to give them my phones if that meant that I could spend 1.5 hours with the person that I look up to and that I really adore. And we were, I think, half an hour late because the cab was late. Like, at that time, I didn't know that Shawn was the one who chose us. Like, I thought Island Records just like goes through the names from Germany or anything, or I don't know, just go through the names and pick them by coincidence. I mean, I am lucky, you know, I'm not saying that I'm not lucky, but I thought Island Records would be the, like, where would be the ones that choose the people, but actually it was Shawn. So I was so excited, I was so nervous, and I felt so happy that he chose me. When the cabs finally arrived, it was a wait of maybe 10 minutes with the cab, and I don't know, we were like kind of getting hyped to listen to music and kind of like trying to relax, because there were people that Shawn already knows and who know Shawn like for a long time. They're like, I don't know how to say it, they already knew each other, you know, and Shawn knows them and they know Shawn, you know. And it was for me not the first time to meet him, but like maybe the third time in 3 days. So we all were extremely nervous. We tried to calm ourselves down, distract ourselves, and when we arrived, we got nervous again. It was pretty exciting, of course. So I was getting ready. I was like wearing his signature, you know, fragrance, and getting ready and like do the last thing that I had to do before we entered the secret session. Actually, we were greeted by a woman. I don't remember her name. I think maybe she worked at the hotel that I was in. We all went down to the basement, and I was kind of getting a weird vibe, actually, like meeting in a basement, which is really dark. I don't even know if this was a basement. It was like there was a woman coming out in a towel. I was completely confused. I don't know what that was. I was just like, I just wanted to go in and just like meet Shawn, talk to Shawn, I don't know. We were told to put our bags and jackets like to the wardrobe, and they will like watch it, like watch all our stuff. And I was like just looking forward, trying to still realize that this was actually happening. And I just turned around by coincidence, and I heard this hi, and there's only one person I know that says hi like that. Is high pitch, low pitch, high pitch. I don't know why he does that. I don't know how he does that. He just does, you know. So I turned around immediately and I freaked. I was like, I didn't even see him. Like, it was extremely dark. I just saw his figure kind of, and I saw he's really tall. I don't know if he's that tall how I remember it, but he was really tall. I was like, oh my god. So I kind of started running or walking faster. I put my bags away, my jacket, and I don't know when, but he kind of sneaked past me. So he already was in the room, and everybody walked in, and we all hugged him too, like as a greeting. And when he hugged me, I was like, I hugged him, and I kind of like, I don't know, my hand just went down his arm, but it wasn't like petting him or something. It was like just smooth. Like, he had this freaking smooth sweater on. He was wearing the sweater, and I was like, I can't get it out of my mind. So I looked away. After I hugged him, I was completely distracted. I don't know why. I just looked away, like to the side, and I didn't realize that Shawn was talking to me. I heard what he was saying, but I didn't know that he was saying it to me. So I looked at my friend who was looking at me. So I looked at Shawn, and Shawn was like looking at me, pointing at me, and he was like, I know that smell. And I was like, huh? I don't know, it was like, yeah, it's yours. And he was like, oh yeah, it's mine. I was like, yeah, it's yours. It was kind of this awkward conversation between us, and we both had to laugh a little, but it was really sweet. He kind of, it was a joke. It was really a joke, but he offered us like alcohol. He asked us like, yeah, do you guys drink or something? Do you like to drink alcohol? And I literally took him for real. I was like, is he serious? Is there alcohol? So I don't drink, you know, just like because of my disease of diabetes, because I can't handle it, like my blood sugar. So, but I really thought that he had alcohol in here, and I looked around and he hadn't, so I realized he was kidding. But he still offered us like, do you want to have something to drink? And there's popcorn, you know. By the way, the popcorn was really disgusting. Anyway, my mom just came in. So we all sat down, and his first question he asked us was, have you listened to In My Blood and Lost in Japan? And we were like, at first we were like, of course, and I was like kidding. I was like, of course not, who listens to that, blah blah, but he didn't hear it. So he started, I don't remember which song he started with. I don't even remember all of the songs he played. I have it on my mom's phone, like my friend sent me which songs we listened to. I remember I cried when he played the first 3 songs, because every time I listen or I hear a new song of him, I start to cry. It's very emotional. It's not even, it doesn't matter if the song is sad or not, because I even started to cry with Lost in Japan, you know, and it's not a sad song. It was like just his voice, hearing his voice again after a whole year. So I started to cry, and I remember he was playing Nervous, Where Were You in the Morning, Like to Be You. This is the one with Julia Michaels, and I loved it. I don't remember song 1, 2, 4, or 5, because he played 5 songs. He didn't play all of it. I just remember Youth was the 3rd song he played, like the one with Khalid. And before he played it, Khalid's song with Shawn was the 3rd song he played, and I was just like looking away, because Shawn didn't play it right away. He gave a full, heartfelt explanation about what the inspiration behind the song was. The inspiration behind the song, if you don't know already, was the Manchester attack, and I wasn't there. I didn't witness it on my own, but I'm a very emotional person, you know. I get attached very fast, and I spend a lot of time like crying and like about the victims and everyone who was affected by this bombing or this tragedy. And I really start to cry, you know, and remembering all of it, like the pictures are still stuck in my head. I cried after he played it. I was like crying the whole time, and I just looked away. And I told my friend who was sitting next to me that if I'm about to cry the whole time, I wouldn't have to put makeup on. But I was talking in German, so I said that in German, and Shawn heard it, and he was like, what was that? And he was like, are you okay there in the back? I don't know if he was talking to me, but I think that he was. And I was like, oh my god, I never lied to Shawn, but I was like, yeah, I'm okay, like really with this cracky voice, this breaking voice. And he didn't say anything, he just like kept playing the songs. So after he continued, like after we heard all of the songs, we all like stood up, and my friend, for example, asked him if he could write down something like a lyric. I don't know from which song it was, but she asked him if he could write down a lyric of his song so she can get it tattooed. By the way, he forgot a word, so she couldn't get it tattooed, unfortunately. So after that, everyone wanted him to write down something or to draw something. It was really funny because, for example, he started to draw hearts and flower, and I was like, can I call you because we were all making fun of his drawings? And he was like, no, like, I don't know how I got that brave. I don't know where I got it from. I was like just saying it out loud. I don't remember if he was laughing or not, but I regret asking it. I don't know, we just spent a little time with him, and suddenly he handed us his phone. He was like, yeah, you can follow some people, but don't tweet anything, don't retweet anything, just like follow some people, you know, don't like anything. I trust you guys. And these words are the heaviest and most meaningful words that you can hear from your idol. And these words, these are 2 simple or 3 simple words in that case, which means so much to us, to all of us. Like, they're stuck in all of our heads. And I was just so happy that I could spend this time with him, like, to get to know him, talk to him, you know, like, not with this pressure of being a fan, because he didn't treat us like we were. We were like, I don't know if you remember, but he once said that it's not a fan to artist relationship, it's a person-to-person relationship, and he really treated us like we were friends for a long time, or even family, you know. We immediately felt comfortable being around him. We weren't that nervous at all. We were calm, we were like just chilling, and I asked him if he could write down my name, and he was like, what's your name? And I was like, Rojan. And he said, like, how do you spell it? And I was like, I wanted to know how he would spell it. That's why I asked him how he would spell it. And he said he needed some paper to write it down, and I looked for it. So he started writing the first 3 letters, which the most people fail at. He started off with R-O-J, and I was confused because I had to translate the German letter into the English letter because it's not always the same. So I mixed up G and J. So our conversation was like G, J, G, J, J, G. And then I again had to think, because in Germany, E is your I in English, you know. He wrote down R-O-J-E-N. He didn't even let me finish translating it, you know. I was thinking, I was processing what it is in English, and he wrote it down. So he kind of misspelled my name, it was cute. So I hugged him out of nowhere. I regret it because he was like I think he was kind of overwhelmed because it was really out of nowhere. And then I smelled his perfume, and I was like going really, just rolling my eyes because he smelled so freaking good. And my friend Monica, she just looked at my face and she bursted out into laughter, and she asked me if he misspelled my name, and I was like, no, he didn't, but I didn't check, you know. So I said he didn't. I checked, looked at the paper, I was like, yeah, he did. And we both started to laugh because it was so cute. And he turned around to us because he saw we were laughing, and he asked if he misspelled my name. And I was like, actually you did. It's not an E, it's an, and he was like, oh, it's an I. I was like, yeah. So he kind of pulled the paper out of my hand and rewrote it. This time he spelled it right, and was so sweet. I wish I could just turn back the time and just spend the whole day again with him, and maybe I would do things differently. Maybe I wouldn't, I don't know. So the secret session was getting to the end, and at the end we were like all taking pictures. We were like, Josiah was taking the pictures, and by the way, Josiah is such a sweet person. I've never met such a sweet person, I'm serious. Like, he's kind of shy. I don't think that he likes to be on the focus. Like, he's more in the back, you know. You always see him taking pictures while Shawn is taking pictures with the fans. So while the other group kind of was talking with Shawn, we thought we could like hang a little with Josiah, because he wasn't, I don't think that he was busy at that time. He wasn't taking pictures or anything. So one of us started to ask him if she could hug him. And I was like, I was encouraged. I don't know why. I was like, oh my god, okay, I want to hug too. So I hugged him. And I was so proud of myself that I finally hugged Josiah. I don't know why. I was like extremely proud of myself because I was too afraid to ask. And then the first person, I think Monica, asked him too. So we were like all lining up and hug him. And he was like, oh my god. But he was laughing, he was kind of smiling, he was really cute. So we all took maybe a few group pictures. And also some, I think 2 of the group had these Polaroid cameras with them. So we also took Polaroid pictures. And we took group pictures and like also single pictures with Shawn. And when it was my turn, I don't know, I asked him if I can take a picture with him, and he was like, of course. And then at that time, the others asked him if they could like take another group picture, and he was like, yeah, sure. And he asked me if I wanted to have a single picture with him, and I was like, yes. And he was like, okay, so wait, I just take a picture with her fast, and then we can do the group picture. It was really sweet. Like, he was trying to make every single one of us happy, and he didn't seem to have a bad time either. I cannot talk for him or for Josiah or anybody, but I feel like he was also enjoying the time, because we were not these kind of fans who were like freaking out, screaming. We were like just making fun of him, laughing with him. And I swear to God, I'm sorry for cursing, but I swear to God, I've never met a person who is so passionate about his own music. Like, I think it was when he played Nervous, he was like going with his hair like that and really enjoying his own music. And that was, I think, the most beautiful part to witness at the secret session. So I will never forget what he did for us, that he did that for us. And I appreciate Shawn and the whole crew so much. I respect him so much. And when the secret session was over, I had the idea to go to his hotel again, because my best friend was waiting there. She didn't meet him then, but because she left because it was like storming, it was like really rainy. So 4 of us were like under one umbrella running to the hotel, and we were wet. We were all wet, and we waited on the other side of the street. We saw all the people, like, they weren't even lining up. It was a whole mess. So Jake came out and told them again to line up and to stay calm, and don't line up again if you don't take the if you already had the picture. So we waited and we went to the other side of the street because we wanted to thank Shawn, obviously. I didn't even want to take a picture. I didn't care about that. I just wanted to thank him. So we waited, and they were like, I've never met or saw such a messy fan. Not messy, but like kind of crazy fandom, like going, screaming, chasing after him. I don't know, they really literally started to scream. They call his name for him to come out, and I don't like that. I don't like that when the fans start treating Shawn like that, like he's some kind of animal material, like he's not a human being. Like, do you really think he's coming out if you call his name? Because he's not a dog. You really should stop treating him like he's some kind of animal. You should really start to respect him. And if Jake gives you some instructions, don't ignore them. Like, have some kind of respect for Shawn. Have some kind of respect for Jake or anybody surrounded or involved. Like, you wouldn't like to be treated like that either. You know, you wouldn't want that. So me and my friend, we went to the other side of the street again. So not of this side, we were not staying on the side of the hotel. We were like staying on the other side of the street, and we were kind of witnessing the whole scenario. And every time someone sneaks up to me, like not only to me but who walks past me, so I don't notice like that he is walking past me, I'm like, okay, hi. So the band was walking past us, and I was like, oh my god, hi. Not this fangirling hi, but like this kind of surprised hi, you know? And I remember that the keyboarder, Eddie, was the only one turning around with a big smile on his face and saying like hi back, you know? And it was the sweetest. I could cry right now if I retell this whole story. It was the sweetest thing ever. Like, he was really kind, and I still, every time I mention that, every time I retell this story, I have this big smile on my face, because that was the cutest thing that I've ever witnessed. One thing, like, everybody at the secret session, everybody was like sitting on their seats, like going through Shawn's Twitter, liking tweets and anything, and Shawn was like walking around the table, like walking next to me, and he was like singing. I was so freaking emotional, so I actually accidentally told him not to sing. I really said it out loud, and I regretted the moment it came out of my mouth, you know, because I love when he sings, but I was so emotional. I can just handle these kind of emotions right now. So yeah, he stopped immediately, and I regret until now, until this day, I regret telling him to stop singing, because I wasn't trying to be rude. I wasn't trying to insult him or anything. I know that he wasn't mad at me, but he stopped. And when he was like really standing next to me, like not there, not here, just like next to me. And so I think he heard. I feel so freaking bad. Like, imagine you telling your idol, the person you love most, the person you look up to, your door, that you love, support him. Just imagine telling them like to stop the thing right now that they're good at. And it wasn't like he was like kind of humming and singing, but it was just too much at the moment. And I was like, Roger, why would you say something like that? Like, I regretted it the moment I told him. I just hope that he kind of remembers me. I don't even care about a follow or anything. I just care about him, like maybe remembering me. I know that he won't remember my name, but I hope that he kind of maybe remembers my face, that I may be familiar to him, because I know that, oh my god, like, Eddie only saw me once, and he couldn't even saw my whole face because it was dark, and I was wearing my hair, I think, up. No, I didn't. My hair was down, and the next day, that was the final day when Shawn was here, like the last day. So I went to the airport, and I met my friend that I met at the secret session, and we were like waiting all together. There were a lot of other fans who were waiting, which I did not know is that there were also fans standing outside, like taking pictures with him. So I don't know when he actually arrived at the airport, but I know that he entered maybe 12:15, I guess, I don't know. So we all were like, everybody was like walking up to him, was like, oh my god, Shawn, there's Shawn, let's take a selfie, blah blah. And that was the very first time that I stayed calm. I wasn't freaking out, I wasn't crying, I was like, okay, he's here, you know, just like a normal person. And when he arrived, he kind of looked upset. I mean, I thought he was upset, but my best friend explained that something confusing happened to him. That's why he just came into the airport completely confused. So everybody was taking their selfies, and I was like completely calm, and then I walked up to him and he just looked into my eyes for a second, like directly, and my phone was not completely off, but it was like not completely turned off, but like kind of black screen off, you know, that you can turn it on and off again. So I didn't have my phone on camera because I wasn't planning to get a selfie. That was not the reason why I went to the airport in the first place. The reason why I went to the airport was that I did not get the chance to thank him the day before at the secret session, for the opportunity he gave us. So I was really happy, so I asked for a hug instead, and I saw that smile and I can't get it out of my head. Like, I was lucky that my friend's friend was recording the whole thing, like her giving him a letter, or maybe some, I don't know what she gave him. And so my hug with Shawn was also on it, and I said that I wanted to thank him for the opportunity, and his smile came up. Like, there was this big smile on his face, and I will never forget it. It was so much more worth than any selfie, any picture that I have on my phone with him, because I saw he's kind of happy. That it's just how I feel. Maybe he felt different, but it was like he was appreciated. I don't know about the others, but I feel like many people take him for granted, and that's why I think it's kind of sad. So I hugged him and I left him alone. He was like walking around, I think with Jake. So me and my friends, we started, like, for example, talking to Josiah, but you could see that Josiah wanted to be left alone, so I didn't bother him that much. A little group, I don't know who it was, but they were surrounding Eddie, and Mike was like sitting on his own, and I think Matt and Dave were like at the checkpoint. I don't know, they were like just spread all over the area. So I walked up to Eddie, and he just looked at me and he was like, I don't think we've met. And I was like, actually we didn't. I didn't even have to finish my sentence, and he was like, oh my god, yeah, right. And he just remembered. I was like, how do you even remember that? How did you even see my face? Like, the day before I was not wearing a bun, and at the airport I was wearing a bun, and I was like, how do you even remember, like, me? Like, how, you know? I was really happy. These sentences really made me happy, and he's really a sweet guy. I can assure you guys, I was too shy to talk about Mike and the other guys, so I can talk about like how every single one from the crew would treat you, but I really believe that they're really sweet, really kind. The people that I talk to, they are sweet and kind, I promise you. Just treat all of them, not only Shawn, just treat every single person you meet from the crew or anybody, just treat them with respect. If you see that you're not blind. If you see that for example, Shawn wants kind of to be left alone or not, he's not going to say no if you ask him for a selfie, you know? He's never going to do that, because he loves his fans more than anything on this whole wide world. But if you kind of see, okay, he's like chilling with his crew right now, he's like trying to relax, and you kind of want to be left alone, just leave him alone. Like, maybe wish him a good flight or something, or just like wish him a good day. It's not the selfie, just, I promise you, the selfie is going to hurt you even more. Every time you look at it, you just remember it. You don't even remember it like perfectly, you just like kind of remember it barely, I don't know, you won't remember any details. So like maybe talk to him for a second, or if you see he's not in the mood, just leave him alone. Just don't chase after him, because that's the worst thing a fan could do. Like chase after him, interfere into his privacy, like ask any private questions that the person could feel uncomfortable answering. He's not going to reject any of you because he loves you, he loves all of us. But just you have this sense that you feel like he's not in the right mood, he's not in the good mood to be talked to. So just kind of leave him alone. But I still hope that you enjoy it, and I hope that every single one of you will one day have the chance to meet him, to talk to him, to maybe just like hug him, because I noticed that he appreciates hugs so much more than a selfie. Just enjoy the time you have with him, because you don't know when you'll meet him the next time, you know. I will not ask him for a selfie because I don't really care about it anymore. I'm like, I'd rather hug him if he's okay with it than take a selfie. I don't know why, I just don't care about the selfie anymore. So yeah. So yeah, that I guess sums it up. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed my video. I just hope that this is not taking too long, that I did not bore you or anything, that I hope you did not fall asleep watching my video. If you have any more questions, I'm gonna put my links for my social media down in the info box or description box, so you can DM me anytime you want. I also have a fan page for Shawn, of course, but you can like DM me and I'm gonna tell you my fan page account, because I do not want everybody to follow me or to DM me or find me on there. So yeah, bye. You ain't the ruler of no country.